The last thing you want to do is give away a corner when you could have put it out for a throw.
So another opportunity for Canada to pose some questions with the set piece. Again, it's not the best ball. Up ahead of steam here though, perhaps Canada. Johnson towards the byline. Switzerland just couldn't put them away, could they? The QC place is buzzing. Lawrence on 3 attempts. Another corner. They really are piling on the pressure. They really are enjoying themselves.
They've changed the corner taker. Rustacchio's come across now. Maybe a slightly different delivery into the box this time.
He's taken it short to create a better angle. It's one on the training ground, but it's tidied up by Qatar, but not for long. Larea cross to Cornelius. Qatar unable to get a touch at the moment. Exactly deploying the press, aren't they? They're allowing Canada to have possession.
And if you keep a close eye on Qatar, they almost fall straight into a back five with Laie dropping into the back line. Sometimes the other midfielder drops in too, so actually the space is in front of the Qatar back line now. So they might have to break wide and come back in front and exploit the space in front of the back line to try and pull them out.
They were the better team, weren't they, on match day 1 against Bosnia as well?
Yeah, absolutely. They just needed to be a little bit more clinical in those final moments.
As you suspect why Karl Heinz, given the knock from the Ireland's to repay his manager Spain, Canada have a free kick. Portugal at youth level, Stefano Stapio. Switching allegiances to play for Canada. But he's walking away from it. Canada head and behind it goes. Actually scored just once in 24 matches, 24 caps prior to this World Cup. About to enter proceedings. Cyril Kuki has taken a knock here. Heads perhaps?
Yeah, you just took one to the face. It could be a sore one if it's in and around your eyes. You know, it's vacantly sore. Probably just need a moment, and then I'm sure they'll want to get him up and get him back in. It also gives the team an opportunity to kind of regroup and break the rhythm of Canada right now.
Well, at 35 years of age, is the oldest Qatari at this World Cup. The oldest to play for them in a World Cup. Referee just stopping the Canada players from receiving some words of advice from Jesse Marsh. It's not quite yet for time yet for the hydration break. Puki will of course have to make his way off the field of play for at least 60 seconds now.
And if you just see every goal kick so far, Canada has set off. They want Qatar to have the ball. They want them to play out so they can set up the trap centrally. They can invite them to play. Then they're going to go and press. This is the type of game they want.
In the end, Abinada goes long. It looks like being potentially a long afternoon. But Yusuf Abdurisak leading the line for Qatar. Not really getting a huge amount, is he, to feed off? Cornelius coming forward. Fougerold. An option out wide to the left-hand side. He elects to go centrally. Fougerold for Canada. Mr. Johnston. Qatar still temporarily down to 10. Burlem Kuki not yet back on the field of play. He is now. Scampers back to help out his effects because Canada are coming forward with Ali. He's been dispossessed. Abdurisak can't get there though because Stefano was quickest. There's just a little bit too much pace on that one. There's a willing runner. Ali Akram, but he'll never get there. And now it is time for the hydration break. Midway point of the first half then, it is Canada who have the lead and they're good value for it, Katie Stoney.
Yeah, I thought Qatar started quite brightly. Had a couple of transition moments where they caused a little bit of panic in the Canadian back four, but since then, I think Canada have took control, possessing the ball well at times. I think a little bit of tightening up with technical execution and they'll create some better chances to try and go 2 up.
Qatar playing into Canada's hands in some respects. You were talking about how they try and build from the back and Canada setting those traps.
Yeah, I think it's quite purposeful and intentional from Canada, dropping up and saying, have the ball, you know, and then when you get into this area, we're going to press, and that's what their strengths are. They're a high-pressing team, and when they go with pace, they go with energy, they want you to play into middle areas where they can win it with counter, and they want to score goals from those moments.
And the goal came from a shot that was saved from Jonathan David, and we've seen a volley from Jonathan David a few moments prior to that. He's finding space, isn't he? They're not picking him up.
No, absolutely, and I think if I'm Abinada, I'm very disappointed in my defenders. You know, I made a good save, and the Canadian forward has reacted quicker than the Qatari defence. So, you know, in those key moments, that makes a difference. And Paul Lammers reacted and finished it. So, I think Jonathan David's very clever at picking up space. He sees where space is in, he dribbles, and he can get on the board, he can get on the turn, and he can impact the attack.
Canada had conceded opening goal in 6 of their 7 World Cup matches to date. So it's a rare thing for them to be ahead in a World Cup game.
Yeah, knowing Jesse Marsh as a doom, he'll be telling that team to turn the screw now. He'll be telling them take the energy up, go after the second goal, don't sit back on this one.
Will resume with Abinada. So far, so good for Canada. Jesse Marsh has actually coached at that Men's World Cup before. He was on Bob Bradley's coaching staff at the Men's World Cup in South Africa in 2010. This is his first full-time job as head coach. So far, this afternoon it's going to plan. His side coming forward again, just behind everyone. Missed clearance. Johnston wins it back and wins it back well. It's Kone. Cornelius. It's a late challenge. It's going to be a free kick to Canada. Maria court.
Finding it interesting that Qatar are insisting on playing out and trying to play through the thirds when they narrowed up their front three and they could have gone a little bit more direct and out of Canada's pressure.
And taking the free kick quickly. Buchanan cuts back in the field. Kone. Cornelius. Good to Fuzerol. Buchanan from distance. scored more than one in a World Cup match as well. All sorts of records tumbling today.
And the second goal is always going to be important. You know, Qatar will try and stay in the game. The second goal is a big one. Now how do they respond? How do they get back in the game? Because one goal can change this game back into their favour again.
Afif trying to make something happen for Qatar. Stakiao tidying up, plays it forward. Kone over the top. Yellow card as well for Omar Ahmed. Wonderful run from Buchanan, who made his way from that wide through the middle. Just appeared from nowhere, didn't it?
I think Jesse Marsh liked that one. It's obviously something they've been working on.
Well, there's been 6 penalties in this World Cup. 6 of them have been scored. VAR is checking. This World Cup. There were only 4 in total 4 years ago. Let's take a look at this again now.
That's really tight. It's really, really tight. It almost looks on the line, which they will be outside. So really difficult for the officials in that situation. They made a decision.
So Qatar down to 10, and it will be a free kick instead of a penalty. The contact initiated outside the box.
This is such a dangerous area for a free kick. Giving quality delivery. It's very late for the goalkeeper to see it. I think Canada make the most of it.
There's an electric atmosphere inside this place now. It is crackling. Over it. Fancy for this one. Looks like it might be Ali, but Cornelius is there. It is Ahmed Ali, and it's over the bar.
It just got too much on it. It hasn't dipped in time.
Well, 10 minutes to go until half-time. Canada 2 goals to the good. Qatar down to 10.
It looks like Qatar are going to go 4-2-3 now in their formation. It's going to be a lot of work for those 2 midfielders to cover a lot of ground.
fair to say, so far this afternoon, not have gone better from a Canadian perspective. Stecky out. Raya with the loose pass. Gives Canada something to try and Qatar something to try and build with. Afi wins the throw. Qatar will take that right now.
Yeah, I think it's going to continue to have to be an outlet for them. You know, when it goes into it, make it stick, and you carry the ball up the pitch, you get your team up the pitch, and give them, you know, the rest that they're going to need.
That's one back by David, and he comes away with it. He's got Larin, rewarding through the middle, Kone out wide, Kone falling, deflects out for a throw. Taken quickly. It's going to be a tough afternoon, isn't it, for Qatar now? They just need to get to half-time with the score at 2. Buchanan. That's a good one. Stands it up. Cornelius. Maria.
So unfortunate. Buchanan's just falling over as it for the ball line. Can't get a good contact.
Bunada collects that one.
I do think it's too easy for Canada to get through though. Qatar are defending their box with 6 at the back and the little runs behind, no one's tracking them.
For their first qualifying round campaign, Qatar, they've seen 24 goals in 10 games. It was a problem for them in qualifying. They were aided in their qualification by the fact that it was an expanded tournament and the Federation got a few extra places. There was an extra round, a playoff round, in which they came through with a narrow victory over the United Arab Emirates. 2 home matches in that playoff round. And they did just enough to scrape through, and they haven't won since.
You know, so they haven't come into the tournament with good form or with good preparation. And that hasn't set them up for success. Obviously, 2-0 down, a player down. It's going to be a really difficult afternoon now.
Johnson. Johnson taking the throw too quickly. 2 balls on the pitch. As we see that chance a few moments ago.
Just falling, isn't he? So he can't get a good contact with his right foot.
Stuck it out.
Just keep an eye on Canada. Both fullbacks are inverted to create numbers central, and they're keeping the width through the wide players, which they do get the ball wide, but they've got good numbers in the box to attack crosses.
Coming on. It's the centre forward, Yusuf Abdul-Isak, who's withdrawn. So if there wasn't really an outlet for Qatar before, even less likely now. And they have defending to do. 5 minutes to go until half-time. Set piece for Canada. Not dealt with. Flags up for offside.
That's where the space is, because Qatar drop and defend in high numbers. The space is in front of them, any cutbacks, Any opportunity to play back in front of that back line gives you opportunities to shoot. Qatar have had a slight shift in formation here with Afif going central now. They look like they're playing a 5-3-1 with Afif being the sole outlet.
Qatar haven't had an attempt since minute 10. They're going to have to be efficient, aren't they? He says they're not going to get too many more opportunities. Going to have to take any set pieces that may come their way.
Yeah, quick breaks, winning fouls, getting up the pitch. These types of moments when Afif can get on the ball.
Sultan Al Break, the substitute, getting involved. Here is Afif. And they keep holding the ball. That's the first task. Hupi. Laie. Forced backwards to Abinada.
To a back three in their build to try and nullify the pressing two of Canada. Canada, knowing Canada will just step another one higher and match them 3-for-3 in their press.
Johnston. Buchanan. Kone. David waiting for it. Johnston's ball takes a deflection, behind it goes for another corner.
Yeah, and that's that little inverted position where he's just going inside the pitch and able to keep that kind of triangle around the ball support so they can play forward, they can play back round, and it's been really effective so far this game.
Stacchiao to take the set piece. Better ball. Fujerol made contact. Cornelius is up. The referee waves away those particular protests.
Canada players are certain something happened in the box there.
Cornelius is still down in the box. They are looking, taking a look.
This could be interesting. He does ellipse his left foot to shoot. The Qatar player behind him just does get a touch. It'll be an interesting decision here for the officials.
They are pretty heavily involved in this match. Those appeals waved away. Final 60 seconds of this first half. A first half that has gone perfectly to plan for Canada, and it can still get better. Ali back in. Collision. The edge of the box. Fujerol back to his feet. Cornelius back to the halfway line. Maria. Ahmed. David. Back to Ahmed. The football just didn't quite roll for those in black shirts. Oh, good. That's the decision. Despite the protestations from the home fans. 6 minutes of time added on.
There will be a minimum of 6 minutes of additional time.
This isn't Julian Lopetegui's first World Cup experience. He was the third choice goalkeeper for Spain at USA '94. Didn't get off the bench. by Ayub. Raya. Ahmed. Stepping out. With the cannon. Lauren can't get there. Beef slips. Johnston. Moves back to Maxime Crepeau, who's been a mere spectator in this first half, the Canada goalkeeper.
Yeah, he has, other than the first 10 minutes when there was a couple of breaks. Generally back to him with his feet, keeping it simple, just keeping the attack going.
Buchanan has been a live wire. Into the box he goes. Only doesn't pull the trigger. It's down in the box as well here. Canada playing on for now with Cornelius, who just realises that his teammate is in discomfort. Buchanan. Johnston stands it up, looking for Lau.
Great play down the right-hand side again by Buchanan. A little step over, gets the ball back. They compete for the first header. Keeper makes a save, and again, it's just following in with more desire to score a goal.
Well, goal number 40 for his country, very quickly followed up by goal number 41.
I think the relationship between Buchanan and Johnson today has been really effective.
And they want more before the break. Buchanan. They look so threatening every time they come forward now. Qatar are crumbling in front of our eyes. Lorea, Estequiao, Buchanan. Look at this football, Johnson across the face of goal. Aguinaldo called into action once again. Still got 90 seconds of stoppage time.
Yeah, and Alistair Johnson keeps getting into really dangerous areas, looking to cross, looking to run between. It's causing Qatar backline all sorts of problems. They just can't deal with it. They've got to find a solution at half-time.
Buchanan. Stuck it out. Johnston. Simply no outlet for Qatar. Estequiao. Ahmed. Lorea. Showboating now, Canada.
They look like they're having fun out there now, in complete control. Lots of creative play, individuality.
He's got nowhere to go.
Every run has got between a centre-back and a fullback or a wingback just hasn't been tracked. So Canada can just go wide, play in behind, and then they can cut the ball back and arrive into spaces to score goals. Qatar got to start tracking runners and defending the box better.
Going into the half. Qatar 0, Canada 3. Don't go anywhere. We have got another performance from Dwayne Gretzky coming up next.
Powerade has 50% more electrolytes than the leading sports drink. And Powerade is the official sports drink of FIFA World Cup. Power your legacy with Powerade.
Say home is where the heart is, and I think that's true. It's my party, you're invited, and all your friends too. Everyone's invited, and I'll see you soon. You don't have to knock, you can come right in. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house.
After you work out, you can feel worn out. Reach for core power and rise to a whole new level of recovery. Quality protein to build muscle. Champion your recovery with Core Power, the official protein shake of FIFA World Cup.
That's when he knew he could share the flavor of Fuse iced tea with every fan. Fuse iced tea. It's the flavor.
Say home is where the heart is, and I think that's true. It's my party, you're invited, and all your friends too. Everyone's invited, and I'll see you soon. You don't have to knock, you can come right in. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house.
This is quite a game. It'll be a free kick. Oh, what a goal! And emotion overflows.
For the full FIFA Fan Festival Toronto experience, be sure to visit the Ontario campus, featuring activation booths from host city supporters Humber Polytechnic, OLG,
so much, everyone. This is quite an experience. So proud that Toronto is one of the host cities of the World Cup, everybody. And what an incredible joy it is to stand out there with all of you and see Canada score and feel the energy is just incredible. So we got one more song for you, and we're going to play a song by a Canadian artist. And this goes to all of you, Team Canada. Thanks for giving it your all and entertaining us. We're Dwayne Gretzky. This is our last song. If you could sing it.
Let's hear it one more time for Dwayne Gretzky!
One more time! We got 1 minute until game time. Are you ready?
I hear there is a big Canada chant that we want to get everybody to do right now. You know how we do the Canada chant. We say Canada, you say Canada. Ready? Canada! Canada!
that first half. It's the most in a World Cup match since Romania against Argentina, also on North American soil back in 1994. A couple of changes for Qatar, Casey Stoney, but this has the potential to run away from Qatar very quickly.
Yeah, and I think it was important they put some fresh legs on, keep the energy in terms of being able to get across the pitch. Looks like they've gone to a 5-4, so really no outlet now. If they do attack, they're going to have to pass their way out and carry the ball up the pitch.
And for Canada, Moise Bombito, a welcome return with Cornelius being withdrawn.
It's not often you get in a situation where you can play somebody into the tournament like this, so being so comfortable giving Moise 45 minutes is going to be, key for them moving forward.
And the second half has started as the first finished. Canada comfortable in possession, prodding and probing. Diffusion. Ali Ahmed, Estacchio, stands it up, looking for Larin.
Just with that substitution with Bombito coming on, it just means Diffusion has come to the left now to allow Bombito to play on the right.
Crossing to the box, looking for Larin. Bright start to the second half. Ali Ahmed. Estacchio. Bombito to the captain. Diffusion. Lorea. Kone lines it up. Sees his effort blocked. Johnston. He's got time to decide what to do with it. Johnston again. Qatar get that one clear, but there's zero outlet, and
No, it's just going to keep coming back. There is no target, there's not even one up front, no one to chase it, so it's going to be a relentless attack v defence for the next 45 minutes.
it's almost like a training ground match at the moment. Stacchio. Lorea. Ahmed on the outside. Ayub got the boot in. Did well to put it behind for the goal kick. For Moise Bombito, who watched the tournament in Qatar in 2022 on a college campus. Here he is 4 years later, one of the star men for Canada. That broken leg threatened to derail his World Cup dream. He gets some much needed minutes, and as you say, Casey, a chance to ease him into the tournament, because you would imagine that Qatar aren't going to pose too much as an attacking threat in this second half.
No, it's a great game to be put into, more possession, maybe a couple of transitions.
Johnston sees his effort blocked.
And he's a very highly valued player within this team.
Johnston again. Case of keep ball for Canada. Stacchio plays his football for LAFC, has been playing for LAFC. Jesse Marsh wanted him to get more minutes in the build-up to this tournament. Here's Lorea, back to Diffusion. Ahmed. Bombito. Johnston. Buchanan. Larin with the flick. David's there. Larin's effort's blocked. Buchanan's ball in. Off a Qatar shirt and behind for the first corner of the second half.
Canada trying to start all restarts really quickly. Corners, throws, trying to get it back in quickly, whilst Qatar are not organised.
VAR is checking for a possible penalty here. touch of handball. It's check over. No dramas. We'll continue with the corner. And it comes too high for Bombito, too high for everyone. Qatar unable to launch anything on the counter. Maria to the Fougerolles. And David come out wide. That's a late challenge surely on Kone. That's going to be a free kick. And the yellow card as well.
This looks serious. The Qatar player is waving the medical team on. This doesn't look good.
And it's boiling over. Canada's not happy with the challenge.
And you can see the Canadian players with their hands on their heads, saying to the Qatar player that needs medical attention.
And Devo, who got the yellow card. See the captain, Stefan Estecchio, there, looking on. Real concerns here for Ismail Kone. It was an instant reaction, wasn't it, from both sets of players?
Yeah, it was. The nearest player definitely looked very concerned. Player with their hands on their heads, you can see that something is seriously wrong. Medical team obviously doing their work.
Devo got the yellow card. He's put his hands on his head. This is the last thing that Canada wanted. It's been such a joyous occasion up until now here in Vancouver for Canada and Canadian supporters.
Devo looks quite distressed. You know, you go into tackles with an intent to win the ball, not to harm anybody.
Well, it's potentially going to be a real dampener on the afternoon for Canada.
It's going to be a job for the staff to get the players reset mentally. That's their teammate, that's their colleague, that's their friend. There's going to be a lot of emotions out there right now.
VAR is checking to see if it's worthy of being upgraded to a red, which would put Qatar down to 9. Yeah. Looks as if that's the case. Qatar down to 9, it seems. Sam Devo is off as well. Well, we spoke about it before, Casey, so much pressure and expectation. Tensions boiling over on the touchline. Both sides going for their first ever World Cup win. Canada surely on course to get that now. 3-0 up and Qatar down to 9, but it's all getting rather ugly on the touchline.
Yeah, it's come at a cost there to Kone, unfortunately. Looks like a serious injury. Another red card, which I mean it's a reckless foul.
Moise Bombito just cheering up the Canada supporters.
And Kone is the heartbeat of this team. He really is. He's the heartbeat. So, you know, we wish him well and obviously a speedy recovery.
You see all our thoughts with Ismail Kone. How do you get your players to regroup?
I think you have to focus them back on task, and now they're playing for a higher cause as well. You know, they're playing for a higher purpose. Obviously, there's the red card. The referee's determined it a red card offence, but now it's about how do we win this game for Ismail Kone? How do we make sure that we win it convincingly, and how do we refocus on the task ahead?
Well, as Ismail Kone is taken down the touchline, these Canadian players need to regroup and refocus. They're having a huddle on the halfway line right now. And there's a thumbs up from Kone on the touchline. He's waving to supporters.
It's good to see him sitting up and waving.
We can only hope that it's perhaps not as serious as it looks. Still seems in decent spirits though, Ismail Kone. But a joyous occasion has been tempered. Stadium's just realised that Qatar are down to 9. And it's Nathan Saliba who has come on to replace Kone. Play back underway. Buchanan twisting and turning and winning the throw deep in Qatar territory. Well, if we thought that Qatar were going to shut up shop and keep it tight to the back, now they're down to 9.
This is going to be relentless now. Looking like a 5 and a 3 in front. It's going to be attack versus defence. It's going to be about how clinical Canada can be in the final third now.
And of course, after a big win for Switzerland against Bosnia earlier on, goal difference could be crucial in determining who tops the group.
Yeah, absolutely, and Canada will want to try and top this group because it means they stay in Vancouver if they do.
Another change for Qatar. And it's Afif, the star man who is withdrawn to be replaced by Al-Hashmi Al-Hussein. Another defensive change. And he hopes that this would be a competitive sporting contest in the second period have been dashed. It's now really a case of how many for Canada.
Yeah, like you say, they want to get more goals, they want to give this crowd something to cheer about, and most importantly, goals are really, really important when they finish this group.
Former Canada goalkeeper Craig Forrest described this as the best Canadian squad ever. He says it would be a massive failure if they didn't get out of the group. Very much on course to do that though at their home World Cup as Larea takes the tumble, wins the free kick. Richie Larea, who's actually scored in this stadium, and he was playing for the Vancouver Whitecaps in St. Louis. Saliba the substitute to Bombito, his fellow substitute, Johnston. Bombito. Comes all the way through. And it's watched behind for a throw. Estecchio deciding what to do. Fougerolles. Larea. On the outside, brings the corner. They racked up the corners against Bosnia, didn't they? They've got another one here. Larin. Back to Larea. Oh, Larin. Permanently signing for Southampton after a loan move from Mallorca. It was a fruitful spell on the south coast in England's second tier for Carl Larin. A blistering start to this World Cup as well. A couple of goals so far for him, a couple of goals for Jonathan David. Canada enjoying themselves with Buchanan with the ball in, and it's another corner.
Yeah, it's going to be for Canada how they drive the tempo, how do they keep the ball speed high around the box and keep moving this Qatari defence and tire them down.
They're taking it quickly and they're taking it short. Shot from distance, way off target. There was another late challenge there, and it's another free kick. It's another yellow card.
Again, it's starting to boil over. I think the players are getting a little bit frustrated at the late tackles. Qatar defenders going to ground. And again, he makes no contact on the ball there, full contact on the player.
It's Ahmed Fati this time who's going into the book. Decisions for Canada. Who's going to take the set piece? Well, they had gone 7 without a win in the World Cup prior to today. Only Honduras and Egypt, with 9 and 8 respectively, had gone more. But it looks as if that unwanted run is coming to an end here in Vancouver. In some style.
This is a really good area for a free kick. Dangerous area, possibly for a right footer.
Looks like it's going to be the substitute Saliba. It is Saliba!
Just see he just whips it round the wall, inch perfect, in off the post.
It's the first direct free kick goal of this World Cup. There's real expectation around Nathan Saliba. Plays his football for Anderlecht in Belgium. Montreal have a sell-on clause because they're expecting big things, and Canada coming forward again. Stood up towards the far post. Ahmed's there. Larea thought about pulling the trigger. Larin. Larea. All the way to the far post, but Buchanan can't bring it under control.
I wonder at what point Jesse Marsh starts thinking about bringing the changes, possibly giving people a rest ahead of the third game, which is going to be a crucial game in this group to try and win it.
Slight miscontrol, but that won't affect the outcome. Well, in their previous World Cups, Canada, they lost all three without scoring in 1986, going down to the Soviet Union, France and Hungary. I'm sure the Lopetegui watches on, wondering where it all went wrong. They've scored more goals in this match, Canada, than the entirety of their World Cup history combined. Because 4 years ago in Qatar, they lost all three, going down to Belgium, Croatia and Morocco. Bernardo is receiving some treatment.
Yeah, I think when he went to dive to save the free kick, he's just landed awkwardly on his left shoulder.
Lopetegui said that the world owed him a World Cup, life owed him a World Cup. I wonder if he's regretting that now.
This is a really difficult task for a head coach of any country. You're up against the home nation, all the support's against you. You lose a player in the first half, a player in the second half, you're down to 9. Just got to keep the players motivated and keep them going until the end. And try and keep them all on the pitch, which is really important.
Canada will be knocking at the door. They will be looking for more. Buchanan to Saliba. Saliba stands it up for Ahmed. He lets it run behind for a corner that they've already taken. Larea took it too quickly, I think, for the referee's liking. That's how hungry they are.
I wish the referee sometimes would just let them take the corner because they want to take it.
Ahmed. Buchanan comes into a central position. Defuser on the centre half, playing as a right winger. Ball overcooked. Ahmed unable to bring it under control. And that is time for hydration. Well, Casey Stoney, as it stands, with Canada leading by 4 goals to 0 against Qatar, it means that on match day 3, the final group game, Canada will need just a draw to top the group against Switzerland.
Yeah, and listen, knowing the group, knowing Jesse Marsh, they would have set out to try and win this group. They're in a good position now to be able to go into that third game with a chance of doing that. Obviously, you know, they're facing a very good Swiss side, so it's a difficult task, but they'll take real heart from some of their performances today and some of the goals that they've scored. And you just look down the pitch and you look at the difference between the Qatar group and the Canada group. Look how tight-knit and together that is and how, you know, they're communicating as one, whereas the Qatar group looks fragmented. You know, they are beat, obviously the scoreline says that, but they look defeated in that huddle right there.
Jonathan David with a couple of goals. A couple of poachers' goals we've seen from both David and Lauren, haven't we? And of course, everyone's thoughts with Ismail Kone going off after what looked like a very serious injury at the start of the second half. We await to hear the severity of that injury. For those in red, of course, hoping that it is not as serious as it first looked. be a couple of changes for Canada at the completion of the hydration break as well, with Tani Oluwase and Jacob Schaffelberg about to enter proceedings. So a couple of changes for Canada. Jacob Schaffelberg is on for the Fougerolles. Ali Ahmed withdrawn to be replaced by Tani Oluwase.
Double substitution for Canada. Player number 4, Lucas
And if you are Tani Oluwase, your eyes are lighting up at this, aren't you?
Yeah, I think obviously there's opportunity to score goals out there, get yourself on the score sheet, build confidence that way. So yeah, this is a slight, this is a real attacking change that they've made, because Schaffelberg has gone to left back now, which means he'll probably get forward. Oluwase is playing off the left, so he might invert to almost look like possibly 3 centre forwards at times.
I suppose the thinking is, this is there for the taking, isn't it? And the goal difference that we were discussing is potentially crucial.
Yeah, they're not really got anything to defend. So, in all honesty, it doesn't really matter who's playing at the back in this game at this point.
A word about the job he's done, Jesse Marsh, not just today, but for Canadian football. You mentioned there's just one defeat in 19 within 90-minute matches coming into this.
Yeah, I think, listen, it's a shift in mentality, clear identity, clear way of playing. Players are massively bought in, and it's showing in the performances.
And they've got a corner.
And there's Christine Sinclair, huge legend in the women's game, 190 goals in 331 appearances for the women's national team.
More defending for those tired Qatari defenders. As the corner comes in, Buchanan scampers across. It's behind Schaffelberg. Stacchio. Sit over, unable to bring it under control. Jonathan David. Now he'll want a hat-trick on home soil. A long journey for those Qatari supporters, but not a fruitful one. Schaffelberg wins the header. Larea caught late again there. Play continues, Lorea's back to his feet. Stacchio.
You can just see Schaffelberg's gone high on the left, Oluwase inside, almost playing like 3 centre forwards, so when the ball does go wide, they've got real good numbers to attack the crosses.
Stacchio. Buchanan. Johnson on the outside. Buchanan twisting and turning. Still not fully clear.
And Qatar's days has gone from bad to worse.
touch. Has ever won by this sort of margin. What a day to do it. And there could be more, because we've still got 15 minutes to play, and there's going to be at least 10 minutes of stoppage time because of the injury to Kone.
Yeah, and they'll want more. They'll want to make this even more convincing, more goal difference.
Right on cue.
And it's not going to happen like that, unfortunately. But that is the areas they can take shots from, because the edge of the box is wide open.
Well, next up for Canada, and you can see their subs there itching to get on. It's Switzerland here in Vancouver.
I think any player would want to come into this game. You're comfortable in possession, you've got loads of the ball, you're in and around the final third, you've got opportunities to score goals. Who wouldn't want to get in?
52,497, a full house in BC Place. Stucky out. Johnston. Bombito. Carl Laren. Bombito thinks about it. Schaffelberg is in space. Saliba. Larea goes for goal, that's deflected. Behind for another corner.
It's another opportunity to put the pressure on, keep putting the ball into the right areas.
Crowd chanting, "We want 6." Schaffelberg. Stucky out. Schaffelberg again. They're queuing up, as is the corner count. Larea. Look at the space for Schaffelberg. That's deflected. And Apinada, unconvincingly and uncertainly, puts it behind for another corner.
And I thought it was a shame because Schaffelberg's touch let him down there, and there was a 3v1 situation with his feet inside the box.
In it comes. Schaffelberg. Stucky out. Johnston with his arm up at the far post. Across the face of goal. Off by Uben behind for another corner. Everyone desperate to get in on the act, queuing up on the penalty spot. The captain with the set piece. Schaffelberg drags that one wide, but why not?
Yeah, if the space is there and no one's coming out to press you and you can hit from distance, it might force Qatar to come out and get more pressure on the ball, and then you can start opening up spaces to play through.
So attention now for Canada does start to turn to Switzerland. A draw would be enough as it stands to top the group, which would see them staying in Vancouver for the knockout stages, which is what they want. They want to continue their home World Cup on home soil. Buchanan. He made a couple of changes, didn't he? Oluwaseyi and Miller dropping to the bench with Larin coming in and Ahmed as well. And they've had the desired effect.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've come in and had a fantastic impact, and that just raises competition now for the next game.
Saliba, he's got one from a set piece. Schaffelberg's got one from a deflection. That will probably be going down as an own goal. Pompito, Johnston, Abunada in the way. Johnston again with space to line up the cross. And you find a white shirt.
Getting into really dangerous areas, but because of the Qatari defence are dropping almost 2 yards below their 6, it's not hard to flash it into that area with a cross. They're probably going to cut it back or hang it up at the back post.
Exactly like that. Abunada gets there, but Eustachio keeps it alive. Outside of the boot, lovely ball, doesn't find Larin. And Schaffelberg snatches at it and sends it behind for a goal kick. Abunada down in some discomfort. Shake of the head, summing up Qatar's day, which has been pretty catastrophic. 2 red cards, 5 conceded. Now an injury to their goalkeeper.
Yeah, and they showed a lot of promise in game 1 when they played Switzerland. You know, stayed in the game for a long period, were 1-0 down, and then found a way to get a goal at the end and get a point out of that game. So they'll be really disappointed the way they've showed up today. I think they've kind of a little bit of a lack of discipline, to be honest, has really cost them in terms of the players going off and the way they've conceded the goals. Sometimes just not following and not doing the basics really well.
They take on Bosnia and Herzegovina in Seattle next. Do you see in any way that they can bounce back from this today?
Well, they're going to be 2 players out, their starting 11 down, so that's one thing they're going to have to contend with. But they're going to need to bounce back. There's supporters that have travelled a long way to come and support them and show up for them. So, I think they'll need to be defensively better, a lot more resolute, and I think show better from the start.
Another change for Jesse Marsh inside with Nico Siegel entering proceedings. Replaced Buchanan. Schaffelberg. Saliba. The space on the edge of the box. They're toying with them. Might fall for Larin. It's a lovely touch. Goal mouth scramble. Canada will come again. Morea. Eustachio.
Substitution for Canada.
What can a day like this do for Canadian football?
I spoke about before the game capturing the hearts of more Canadian fans, and I think they would have done that today. They would have inspired many more young girls and boys to take up the game of football. And I think, people love to see teams winning, and they have won convincingly today.
The nature of the victory means it's going to be all over the TV networks and papers over the next 24 hours or so. Canada under Jesse Marsh have delivered.
And Jesse will be happy with this, 5 goals and a clean sheet, important, but knowing Jesse will want more. He'll want even more from this performance, and and improved, and they'll need to go up another level and playing a different level of opponent in the next game. So, but 5 goals is definitely very confidence for this group.
A rare touch for Maxime Prepper, Canadian keeper. And to his left, sees it blocked. Saliba finds Shuffleberg. Saliba into the corner.
Christine Sinclair swapping a cup of tea for a glass of wine, celebrating the 5 goals.
And the change for Qatar is Lucas Mendes come on. Fatty has made away. Awkward inside that 6-yard area. Stacchio. Surely a pull of the shirt, and the decision goes Qatar's way. Not much else has today. Another positive for Jesse Marsh, of course, his minutes under the belt from Moise Bombito. No Alphonso Davies, though.
No, this is obviously still waiting to hear on the fitness of Alfonso, but I think it's a big 45 to be able to get Bombito into the game, comfortable as well, played in ahead of the next group game.
Just so much hunger. Shuffleberg looking to take that throw quickly. Maria. And a number of players who actually have played for Vancouver Whitecaps in this stadium. Stacchio stands it up, too high for Onur Shea.
Credit to Qatar over the last 10 minutes, they've defended their box very well. They've dealt with the crosses, they've dealt with first contact, picked up second balls. I think they can take some confidence from that going into the next game.
Larry. David works it out wide. Stacchio continues his run into the area. Too high for him, too high for everyone. Shuffleberg gets there. Saliba. David, dispossessed, but settles for a corner. So much time to try and pull the trigger. He elects not to do so. Seagull's efforts blocked. David on a hat-trick. And this all will come as welcome relief for Qatar.
Yeah, they want to run this clock down. They want this game to end as quick as possible, as little extra time as possible.
Of course, a fantastic afternoon for Canadian football, dampened by the serious-looking injury to Ismail Kone. It means we will have quite a substantial number raised by the fourth officials board in 5 seconds' time. 9 is the total.
important for Canada to stay switched on now. 9 minutes to go. Not give anything silly away from the set piece.
Sultan Al-Break to take the set piece. A rare venture forward for those in white. Comes to an abrupt end. Canada are already on the march once again. Saliba. Schaffelberg. Saliba, so tempting to pull the trigger, he does.
Because it's actually a shot and he takes it on the turn so well and finishes it. Such a soft touch. And then just finishes it in the corner. Pace, power, keeper has no chance.
That is the first hat-trick scored by a home player in a World Cup since Jeff passed in 1966.
Incredible bit of information and great for him. Deservedly so, he's been very clinical.
Bombito. Schaffelberg. Saliba. Well, that really is the icing on the cake, isn't it? The hat-trick for Jonathan David.
Yeah, there's no coincidence. If you just watch him, he's always scanning, looking over his right shoulder, looking over his left shoulder, seeing where the spaces are, seeing where the defenders are, where can he get into a position where he can get turned and have a shot. And that is a fine example. Saliba shoots, he gets on the turn, and he finishes it well.
Bombito. Schaffelberg. Stands it up towards the far post. Abinada collects that one. Well, he's not giving much away, is he, Jesse Marsh? But this could not have gone better, with perhaps the exception, the injury to Ismail Kone.
Yeah, and I think that would have definitely soured this game for him. Like I said, Ismail Kone is the heartbeat of the team. It would be a big miss if it's a serious injury, especially in such a campaign like the World Cup.
And they're down to 9 for most of this second half. Qatar down to 9 for most of this second half as Canada go in search of a 7th. Bombito. They've already taken it, and they'll win another one. There's some tired legs out there in the white of Qatar, isn't there? Canada toying with them. Maria stands it up, looking for Larry.
But they've defended really well in the box with 8 players. You know, they've 1 first contact, 1 second balls, used the body. not easy when you're tired, you're fatigued, and you're 2 players down, you haven't got an outlet, and it's relentless attack defense.
Germany stuck 7 past Curacao on match day 1. Canada have 6 here. Joint biggest margin of victory. There's still time for more. 3 minutes at least to play here. The target has always been for Jesse Marsh to top the group, but very much the objective now when Switzerland arrive here on match day 3. What an occasion that promises to be.
And again, I'm sure this will be a full house.
Urea, Schaffelberg. Exactly how he dreamt it. Pistachio. Sigor. Johnston on the overlap. Stands it up. Lines too high for him. The determination, the hunger, and the strength. Illegal challenge one according to the officials. The 52,000 in red around us disagree.
It looked like shoulder to shoulder for me, but obviously the referee deemed it maybe a little bit of excessive force.
Hat-trick goal, fractionally onside. Is there time for one more? One of those halves for Qatar. A day to forget for the men from the Middle East. But it's delight for Canada, who will finish this contest with another set-piece opportunity. Time for one more. Saliba with the header. Unable to keep it in.
Way to go, Canada! Please
A monumental event is coming. For the first time, the FIFA Women's World Cup comes to South America, to Brazil. The world's greatest players will play in the land of passion and futebol arte. 8 host cities, 32 teams. World, are you ready? Vai ser épico. Go epic. FIFA Women's World Cup Brazil 2027.
The world is coming to play in Ontario. To celebrate, we're giving players a chance to win the beautiful getaway contest. Play lottery with OLG and enter for your chance to win a $100,000 travel experience.
Winner, Ganyo.
The world's most beautiful game. In the city's loudest venue. Don't miss a minute of the action with Toronto FC this season.
You're busy. Work, family, responsibilities, life. But somewhere in between the meetings, commutes, practices, and late nights, you're still thinking about what's next. A promotion, a new career, new skills to stay ahead. With Humber Continuous Professional Learning, you can learn online, on your schedule, from local industry experts who understand today's job market. Short courses, certificates, micro-credentials, flexible learning designed for real life. Turn experience into opportunity.
Supports the training of thousands of coaches and refs across Ontario. And that's a win we're celebrating too. That's our beautiful game.
Winner, Ganyo.
The world's most beautiful game. In the city's loudest venue. Don't miss a minute of the action with Toronto FC this season.
The world is coming to play in Ontario. To celebrate, we're giving players a chance to win the beautiful getaway contest. Play lottery with OLG and enter for your chance to win a $100,000 travel experience.
Winner, Ganyo.
Festival Toronto experience, be sure to visit the Ontario campus, featuring activation booths from host city supporters Humber Polytechnic, OLG, OPG, and Toronto FC, as well as Destination Ontario and AFC. While you're there, check out World Pitch, the mini football pitch, featuring artwork by Indigenous artist Alana Morningstar Jewell. Step onto the pitch, join the action, and show us your skills.
All right, let's keep the energy flowing because it's time for another live performance. Get ready for precision, power, and explosive rhythm.